So, what if I told you there's a simple yet really powerful system that can help you learn, well, pretty much anything? And I'm not talking about just cramming for a test. I mean, truly mastering a skill. In this explainer, we're going to break down that exact blueprint.
Oh man, we've all been there, right? You spend your entire weekend binge watching tutorials, feeling super productive. But then, a week later, you actually sit down to try it and poof, it's all gone. That frustrating feeling of just spinning your wheels? Yeah, that's exactly what we're gonna fix.
And this really gets to the heart of the problem. On one side, you've got passive learning, just watching, just reading. It's that classic in one ear, out the other situation. The real secret, though, is on the other side, active learning. This is where you're actually doing something with the information, building, applying, and interacting. That's what makes it stick.
All right, so how do we actually make that shift? Let's dive into the solution. We're about to unlock a reliable framework, a system that turns learning from this frustrating chore into an effective, repeatable process. This is the learner's blueprint. And this right here, this is a huge mindset shift. The idea that mastering something isn't some special gift you're born with, it's just a process. Seriously, you don't have to be a genius. If you have the right system, anyone can do this. Okay, so where do we begin? Step 1, laying the foundation. This is all about getting crystal clear on what you're doing and why before you even start learning.
This is a perfect example of what I mean. The first rule is to get incredibly specific. Look at that vague goal. I want to learn machine learning. I mean, where do you even start with that? It's just overwhelming. But look at the specific one. I want to build a load forecasting model. See, now you have a target, you have a destination, you know exactly what you're aiming for.
So once you've got that specific goal, the next move is to break it down. Think about it. Any huge, intimidating skill isn't one giant mountain. It's really just a collection of a bunch of smaller, way less scary hills. The whole trick is to see the individual parts, not just the giant, scary whole. I mean, take learning a language. It sounds massive, right? But when you start breaking it down into things like pronunciation, vocabulary, grammar, all of a sudden you have a to-do list. You can just pick one thing and work on it. And boom, you're making real progress you can actually see and feel.
All right, so our foundation is set. Now we get to the really good stuff, the heart of the whole system. We're calling it the active engine. This is the core loop, the thing you're going to do over and over again to really build that skill.
And here it is. The loop is simple. Learn actively, apply it right away, and get feedback. But here's the key. It's not a one-and-done checklist. It's a cycle. You learn something, you try it, you see how you did, and then you do it again, getting just a little bit better with each rotation. So what does it even mean to learn actively? Well, one of your best tools is the Feynman technique. It's kind of a secret weapon. The whole idea is simple. Try to explain what you just learned in your own words, like you're teaching it to someone who has no idea what you're talking about. This forces your brain to actually retrieve the information. And here's the magic part. If you get stuck or you have to use a bunch of jargon, you've just found the exact spot where your understanding is weak. It's brilliant. And this next part is so important. Learning without doing is basically just a fancy way of forgetting. That's why the apply immediately step is non-negotiable. Learn a new grammar rule? Immediately go write 5 sentences with it. Learn a new bit of code? Write a tiny script with it. That application is what cements it in your brain. And to close out the loop, the final piece of our engine, feedback. You can't improve in a vacuum. It's like trying to navigate without a compass. Feedback is that compass. It could be a mentor, a friend, an error message from a program, anything that tells you where you need to adjust your course to get it right. Okay, so we've got our foundation and a powerful engine. But how do we keep this going for the long haul and not just burn out after a week? Well, that brings us to step 3, building a system that you can actually stick with.
Let's be real, our brains are basically forgetting machines. That's just how they're built. Spaced repetition is your best defense against that. Instead of cramming, you review information at these increasing intervals. Day 1, then day 3, a week later, and so on. Every time you do that, you're sending a signal to your brain saying, hey, this is actually important. Don't delete this file. It's just a way smarter, more efficient way to remember things.
Another huge part of a good system is not putting all your eggs in one basket. Don't just rely on one book or one YouTube channel. Every source has a different angle. Maybe you use videos to get the big ideas, books to go deep, and forums for when you inevitably get stuck. Mixing it up gives you a much richer, more complete picture of the topic.
Look, we all know motivation is a feeling.
It comes and it goes. You can't rely on it. But a habit, a routine, that's something you can lean on. Seriously, showing up for one focused hour every single day is going to get you so much further than waiting for inspiration to strike for an 8-hour cram session once a month. Consistency always wins.
And this right here, this is the ultimate goal of your system. Instead of just collecting skills, you build something tangible. So instead of saying, oh, I learned machine learning, you can say, I built this solar power prediction model. See the difference? That project forces you to connect all the dots. It's not just proof that you learned, it is the learning. Finally, every system needs a way to steer. And that's where a quick weekly reflection comes in. Just take 5 minutes to ask yourself these questions. What did I learn? What got better? What was really tough? And what's the plan for next week? This little check-in keeps you on track, helps you see your progress, and lets you adjust your plan as you go. So there you have it. You lay the foundation, you fire up the active engine, and you build a sustainable system around it. We've put together the whole blueprint. Now it's time to go build your first masterpiece.
And if you take just one thing away from all this, please let it be this. It is not about being smart or having some innate talent. It's about having a process. If you can build a system, stay consistent, and look for feedback, you can learn literally anything you set your mind to.
And that's really the only question left, isn't it? With this blueprint in your hands, the possibilities are pretty much endless. The only thing left to decide is, what are you going to master first?